do the recording as well. So people who are logging in will be basically seeing the presentation by Dr. Hamdy on Facebook's live Facebook pages, inshallah. Over to you, Dr. Hamdy. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. Kulla aam wa antum bi khair. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make this Ramadan very special Ramadan for you and make it one of the best Ramadan, even though we are not able to go to the masjid, we are not able to come close to each other even, but we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it the best Ramadan ever on the Muslim Ummah, and we have the blessings and benefits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showering all of you, inshallah. If Brother Ikram, if you can just mute the moderator admin, because it's making some noise in the background. All right. So as you may know, that we will start a series of about 3 or 4 episodes about the Amthal al-Quran, the parables of the Quran. And in this presentation, I will go fast a little bit to see why do we need to study that. And then inshallah, for the next one, we will start to present one of the example each time we meet together, 1 or 2 of the examples. And when we reflect on that and we will get your questions and answers, that would be great, inshallah. All right, so why do we need to study the Quran, the Amthal in the Quran? لماذا نهتم بأمثال القرآن؟ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ. Among the Sahaba were like sometimes reading the examples, and when they come to this ayah and they do not understand one of the example, it's been narrated that they started to weep and cry and said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that these examples are set forth for mankind, and only those who understand and only those who have the knowledge will understand it. And we have not understood that example. So if you're reading the Quran and you pass by example that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to us and we don't understand it, we should feel that this is something has to be corrected, and we need to understand the examples that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving to us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. That we offer these examples for people, we illustrate this example for them so they may reflect on it, they may reflect upon their own condition and change their own behavior as well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. And we have given the mankind in this Quran every example, every kind of example, so they may ponder upon it, they may remember it, they may start to think about it and make that in their life. So what are the examples? What are this parable of the Quran? ما هو تعريف المثل؟ The ulama or the scholars said that المثل عبارة عن قول في شيء يشبهه قولا في شيء آخر بينهما مشابه ليبين أحدهما الآخر. This is like a saying about something that is like saying something else, and there is something in between them that's similar to explain each other. So giving you an example by something to elaborate, to illustrate something else that you need to withdraw and understand from the example. This is the parable of the Quran. And we will give you some example, inshallah, when we are moving forward. So the Quran has 2 types of examples, 2 types of parables. One of them is called al-mathal al-sarih. That's like a proverb. that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran مثل أو مثلهم أو ذلك مثل. So if there is the word مثل in the ayah, that means that this is a sarih, this is a proverb, this is quite clear. There is no hidden words behind it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said مثلهم كمثل الذي استوقد نارا. So it is their example is like the example of. So that's called the مثل صريح. But there are, and the المثل الصريح in the Quran is about the ulama that said about 39, 40 example that you may find that word مثل in the Quran. So it's very clear, and the example is very clear to us, and we should understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving that example for. And inshallah, this series will deal with this kind of example. So the 3 upcoming times, we will give examples of al-mathal as-sarih. But there are some other kind of examples in the Quran which is very important too. It's called al-mathal al-kamin. Al-mathal al-kamin is the parable or the reflection on that method that give you something, and you need to understand something else. Like if you say reading between the lines, right? وهو الذي the example of that in Arabic, that's هو الذي لا يذكر في النص لفظ المثل. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that أفمن أسس بنيانه على تقوى من الله ورضوان خير أم من أسس بنيانه على شفا جرف هار فانهار به في نار جهنم. And this is like the example of those who build a building on taqwa, on iman, and the others build it on kufr and fujur. And this building that will collapse in the fire. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving the deeds or the work of the non-believers, even if they are so tall buildings, if they're good buildings, but they build it on the fire, and it will be collapsed with them on the fire. And so in this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say mathal, but there is a mathal kamin in it, and we need to understand that mathal. And there are so many of that in the Quran. The examples of that is so much. But as I mentioned again, we will concentrate on al-mathal as-sarih in the Quran. طيب. What are the benefits of the parables? What are the importance of that? The parables of the Quran, or the examples of the Quran, first for al-idah wal-bayan, that it explains something and clarify it for us. Explain it and clarify it for us. يعني for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said مثل الذين حملوا التوراة ثم لم يحملوها كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفارا. That those who were given the knowledge of Torah and they have not applied on their life, they have not followed the instruction of it. Their example, the example of a donkey carry a lot of load, and the donkey does not know what's in that load, right? So that it's an example of someone knows a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, but this knowledge are not benefiting that person. So that first thing so that's the example, is giving idah, explain and clarify the issues. And also it is a kind of educational tool as a reminder for the believers. So it's وسيلة تربية فيها تذكير وعظة من الله سبحانه جل وعلا. And in it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala support the hearts of the believers. تثبيت للمؤمن. The example is تثبيت المؤمن. مثل كلمة طيبة كشجرة طيبة أصلها ثابت وفرعها في السماء. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that the example of this good word, لا إله إلا الله Muhammad Rasulullah, is the example of a tree that is firmly supported, inserted, and the branches reach it all the way high in the sky. Subhanallah. So this is like the تثبيت لقلب المؤمن. The believer will feel that very connected, and will feel good with Allah subhanahu jalla wa ala. And the examples also, it is a expression of life experience. I will give you some examples from different countries, but it is like a human experience. And all of us are human beings, are not different from one country to the other. We are all subjected to the same experience, to the same background, sometimes with different culture, yes, but the experience of human being is almost, you can actually relay now. The coronavirus is like attacking every single country in the globe. So we have the same challenges, some same hardship. So the examples or the proverbs or the parallel from one country, reflection of the behavior, reflection of the culture of that country. So it's an expression of life experience. And it is also a stimulation for the mind to think. That's when you hear a مثل in the Quran, say, what is this مثل? ضرب الله مثلا رجلا فيه شركاء متشاكسون ورجلا سلما لرجل هل يستويان مثلا? So if you don't understand the example and you think about it, what does that mean? رجلا فيه شركاء متشاكسون ورجلا سلما لرجل هل يستويان مثلا? Subhanallah. So that's the tahfiz للعقل. It is the stimulation of your mind to bring that thinking to the forefront and start to deeply think about the ayah, about what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking us to do. So that tahfiz ala al-aql. As I mentioned, there are so many examples in so many countries. I will give you some examples and we'll move forward, inshallah. And if I don't mention any of the other countries, please forgive me because the time, and I will, inshallah, incorporate some of other examples. You can help me also from your own country if you like to add some examples and help us with that. That will be great. So most of the proverbs that you hear in the Arab community, mostly Egyptians, not because I'm from Egypt, but a lot of examples from Egypt, especially المثل العامي في مصر ده كتير جدا يعني. And that it's a reflection of the behavior of the people itself. That's so. Let's take one at a time and fast go over it. For example, one of that is امشي عدل يحتار عدوك فيك. So that is like a reflection of the if you go straight and do the right thing, your enemy will be like troubled. How they gonna handle you, right? So you just go straight in life, and this is like an encouragement of living your life in the right way. Sorry. And the other example يقول لك ايش ياخذ الريح من البلاط. يعني ايش ياخذ الريح من البلاط يعني. يعني if we have a severe wind and we don't have nothing that's for the wind to carry. So what's that mean? It's like a reflection on if you don't have anything, don't be afraid what will happen in this life. If we just keep collecting and putting it together, we will be very worried that any wind will take it away, right? Like now, you see the economy now, let's open it, let's open the country, let's open it. Why? Because we are just aware, we need just keep collecting, right? So that's لو مش معانا يعني هقول لك ايش ياخد الريح من ايه؟ من البلاط. في مثل تاني بيقول لك العلم في الراس مش في الكراس. يعني we have so many knowledge in the books and the internet, but those who are really the people of knowledge, that they are able to use it, utilize it, think about it, not just to have a big library behind them when they study or they have access to the internet. It's not the access of information, but is the utilization of the information. And I think that's enough for Egyptian examples. You can also relay on that if you like to. But let me take that one too. There are some examples that is not stimulating, but it is suppressing. like for example this one, امشي سنة ولا تخطي أنا. That's someone that's not that's taking the challenge. بيقول لك لا 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 let's not take the risk. The risk is too much. Let's not to take it. خلينا نمشي سنة. Let's go for a year. And it might be that lake or that little bit of water, they can just jump on it. It's risky, yes, but they can jump and achieve a lot of things. But the culture itself يقول لك لا 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 خلينا يا عم في السليم. Let's stay on let's just walk for a year and not to jump on that. So that's again, it's a reflection of how the people handle themselves. If we jump on هنا مثلا ادي العيش لخبازه ولو اكل نصه, يعني give the whatever skills to those who are able to do it. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the وَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So ask the people of expertise to tell you what to do, right? So it's not just by I can do that. We have to ask the people of expertise. And you can hear it in the news days and night. That's trouble between the science and the people that just like to go in the life regardless. Okay, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also recommend us to ask the people of the of expertise. If we take some of the general Arabian or Arabic proverbs, like it's very good examples here. That's like al-rafiq qabla al-tariq. That's choose your partner, the one that will travel with you before the way. That's like choose your friends, choose your people that you intermingle, you talk to, you are with, because these are very important than where you're going. المرء بخليله معناها that you are like your friends. You are like your friends. And tell me about who are your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. So these are the many of the Arab proverbs is like that. All right. We also have some Chinese, a lot of Chinese proverbs. That's so many actually Chinese proverbs. And I like most of them, but like for example, first one, أساء سمعا فأساء إجابة. We usually say that be good listener, be good listener. So when you are a good listener, you can understand the questions and you can answer it correctly. I think we have a lot of broadcasting these days, and the one that was receiving the questions is not even interested to listen, and you just keep jumping on the people, jumping on the news reporter, so that the method here is saying أساء سمعا فأساء إجابة, that he did not hear it correctly, and that's why he did not answer it correctly as well. So and that's like a stimulation for us to listen and answer correctly. Let's take the last one. إن تتأكد خيرا من أن تتأسف. إن تتأكد خيرا من أن تتأسف. That means when you do things for sure that's good, it's better to do it good than that you say sorry, right? And so say sorry. That I think there is an opposite American proverbs for that. You're like, let's do it and then say sorry. Let's do it first and then say sorry if it's wrong. But that's really a good example. That make sure that you do the things right before, and the no need for to apologize or to say sorry. There are some Western proverbs as well that reflect the Western society, the others, how they function, how they think about their society. Like one of the examples is a good example, that two wrongs don't make a right. And that means that to stay away from wrong things all the time. And when you correct something, don't correct the wrong with the wrong. You correct it with the right thing. So you go back to the right. So if you do mistakes, repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and come back to Allah. because sometimes when we do the first mistake, we continue to do it the second and the third and the fourth. So two things will not make things right, even though sometimes we get used to la hawla la quwwata illa billah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us, inshallah. Sometimes you do the mistake, and then when you do it next time, it become easier. And that's from the shaitan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all of us, inshallah. And the second one is interesting too, is when in Rome, do as Romans, which is, that's not, and this is look like a melting pot until you hear amidst, be like them. And there is an authentic hadith that we should not do that. Of course, like لا يكن أحدكم إمعا إذا أحسن الناس فليحسن وإن أساءوا فيتجنب إساءتهم. That's do not be like a hesitant guy. You have to make your mind, if the people are doing good, you follow good. But if they are doing bad, you should stay away from what they're doing. But here the Western example, when you're in Rome, do like Romans. That's not the way that we should function. So these are like examples of what is the parable of the Quran, what is the mathal. And inshallah, with the next one, we will start to get some of the examples, maybe one from Surah Al-Baqarah, while we're moving forward. And we will concentrate on Al-Mathal As-Sarih. That's the ayah that has the word mathal in it. ضُرِبَ مَثَلٌ مَثَلُ الَّذِينَ. So that's are the ayats that we'll concentrate on, inshallah, for the next time. There are a lot of resources for you if you like to explore this topic, which is very important. And these are some of the references, a lot of Arabic references. There's actually any book of tafsir, you will find a lot of explanation of the examples, but there are also textbook specific for the مثل, like شرح الأمثال في القرآن للطهطاوي وأمثال القرآن الكريم للشعراوي أمثال القرآن لابن الجوزية. All these are good books that you can, and Sheikh Haida can help us with getting some of these books, but most of these books also are available. If you click on waqfiyya.com, waqfiyya.com.index, that will get you most of these books as a PDF file. You can read it online. There are also some English resources for that. There is no translation of the Amthal al-Quran, but there are some good examples, archives for the some of the parables of the Quran, and give you the benefits of the type of the examples and how you use it in your life. So make use of that, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم إن شاء الله إلى لقاء قريب. Is that tomorrow إن شاء الله يا أخي إكرام, or after tomorrow? I think it is Sunday. On Sunday إن شاء الله we will meet again, and we will start with the one of المثل الصريح. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. تفضل إكرام.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Hamdy. Thank you very much, inshallah. So yes, that was Sunday, inshallah. Same time, we will see you, inshallah, to the other continuation of the series. Jazakallah khair, and inshallah we'll see you later. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dr. Samir.
Jazakallah khairan, Brother Hamdy.
Jazakallah khair. Barakallahu feek. ازيك كيف حالك يا دكتور? How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. It was beautiful. Jazakallah khair.
Jazakumullah khair. Barakallahu feek.
Assalamu
alaikum. Alaikum. Brother Ikram, are we taking questions in these sessions, or just the presentation?
This particular one was a presentation, as people are still getting into the Ramadan spirit, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah khair, inshallah. All right, we'll be posting the recording shortly on YouTube as well. So it will be available. Assalamu alaikum.